Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 59 of the Glory Days podcast. We are back with everyone's favourite hour and a half to 2 hours of despair, dismay, and ultimate just mental depravity. We're back discussing another week of Perth Glory Football Club. Actually, God, it's been a while since we've done one of these episodes. 3 weeks, I think it's been. It's been a really nice 3 weeks off, to be fair.
Great to have Josh back.
Yep, good to have Josh back. It's been, a month since you've been on the pod?
Has it been that long?
I think so.
Marquee signing, though. Good to have him back. We've sacked off Will, but Will's been a little busy doing other things and organising other things. So
he sounded oddly excited to be missing today's episode. I don't really know if I should read too much into
the last one. He's like, hang on, I thought it's my turn.
Yeah. Now it's finally Will's turn on the roster. Unfortunately for James, he never gets a turn on the roster of missing an episode because...
I don't purposely miss that episode.
I don't think anyone's accusing you of that. Will, on the other hand, I think made a conscious effort to not be available, if you're asking me. But we are available, ladies and gentlemen, and, I think...
What was that game that we just watched?
I would love to get some insight on that because it was certainly one of the games of all time. I think that's fair to say.
It was a nothing burger.
That was possibly
20 minutes was good, but then the rest of it was a nothing burger.
Yeah.
I think it summarises our whole season. We got our hopes up and then
crashing down.
That's actually a perfect analogy. And you know what? If I can say one thing, I would like to say screw you guys for giving me hope, man. I want to say, we played possibly the best half hour of football we have all season in that opening 30 minutes, and then it all just came
a little bit like in Italy against Bosnia. Sorry, I had to put that in.
You just had to do it, didn't you, James?
I'm sorry, Will was doing it. Today I feel Bosnian. Speaking of which, we'll get into our the post-game thoughts and the comments from our viewers and our listeners. So we'll start on Instagram. There's actually some pretty funny ones. So Matt Hughes, he said, not sure if it's a fitness or a tactical issue, but the way we were only able to attack in short bursts needs to be studied. Completely let go of the accelerator after 20 minutes.
Please don't tell me after 2 years of harping on about fitness, we're still undercooked.
We're underdone.
Please say it isn't so.
Oh, okay. Wendy, she said, entertaining game, not the result we wanted, though. Eggs and tea. I got a message when we were 2-0 up saying we were playing well, and I said, I'm just waiting for them to fuck it up, and they proved me right. Simon, if Griffo wore a strap on after half-time and chased players around the field 50-50, if the boys would move any faster. Fair enough. Okay, sounds great. Pockle, for once he's not launched any bullets your way, but he said... I
appreciate that, Pockle.
Top 10 football respect moments. Glory bottles a 2-0 lead to help struggling club have a chance of finals. So that's good. James Merrin, he said 2-0 up only to finish 2-2. Sums up this season in a nutshell, as we said. It's going to be almost impossible to get people to come to the next two home games. I'm a member and never miss a game, but I can safely say next home game I've got other plans.
I was discussing a couple nights ago. I had one of my uncle's 50th birthday, and I had my other uncles there. One of which keeps up with Perth Glory as much as he can without paying for a Paramount Plus subscription. But I was having a talk with him, and his question to me was, with the 30th anniversary next year, do you think people are going to be interested and going to be coming back? And I said, I give it 2 games. I give it two home games.
That City game, I didn't come.
No, I'm talking next season for the 30th anniversary, right? I give it 2 games before.
But do you think there'd be interest before then?
No, 2 home games.
Man. It's like the 25th anniversary.
Look, I think that the old heads will like some little nostalgia being drummed up, but I give it 2 games before inevitably, the wheels fall off the wagon if we don't get our shit together, which inevitably we won't, because we've been waiting for us to get our shit together for 5 years now, and we still haven't done it. So what is there to say that for the 30th anniversary we're actually going to see some sort of progression in this football club?
I mean, the last City home game I didn't go to because, and you can call me a fake fan, I don't care. I was like, why would I sacrifice my whole afternoon, line up, get on the train, public transport, whatever, spend $3 a 50 litre, mate, whatever.
Your fuel's fucked.
Spend all this time and money going to the game when I can just sit at home and watch it. I still watch the game just to see us lose. And I know that's a bad mentality to have, but we did lose.
You drew.
For us, it's a loss.
Yeah, they drew. Yeah, 1-1 with.
Well, it was
Tags.
a 1-1 draw. Tags
But it felt
scored
like
the
But it felt like
late
a loss.
one.
Am I thinking? I thought we lost.
No, we drew.
City.
Yeah, Tags got the
Yes.
equaliser.
You're thinking of
the last minute where he took his shirt off. Sorry.
Yeah.
Regardless, it still felt like we
No,
lost.
but it's like you could have turned the game off, and it's like you probably would have had the notification on your phone if you had, let's say, turned it
Why
off.
would I spend $40 on a ticket as well to see that?
No one would. That's why we had a fairly poor crowd attendance, and that's why more people probably would have at that time gone, yeah, we made the right decision to go to the Eagles game. Definitely not the right decision if you went on a Saturday night, but that was good viewing either way. But yeah, look, he said, here we go. The only reason we got something out of this game is due to the level of our squad compared to theirs. Zero creativity, and we should not be letting a Park the Bus team have more shots than us. Taggart looked good, but would be interested to hear your thoughts on the Carl Veart rumour.
I would be
Seated and listening, or
I would definitely be seated. I would definitely be listening. My ears are well open for that discussion. I think that it's unfortunate how proactive China have been in really snapping up a lot of the good Aussie coaches, because you look at the Aloisi brothers now off the table. Worst of all, David Zrilich now off the table as well. I'm gutted about that one. But in all seriousness, realistically, who is there left that's attainable? Because Arnold is not going to come here. Look, Arnold is not going to come here. Postecoglou is not going to come here.
Look at the environment.
No,
environment Adelaide United has.
I know,
he's not
I
wrong.
know that, but I'm talking in the sense of a coach. Like, who is there left?
So
Papas won't come here.
you've
He
got
won't go.
Milicic, you've got Anastasiadis, you've got John Hutchinson, Stanton's off the table. We wanted Klimovsky, but can I see Glory wanting to fork out money to try and get him off contract? Probably not. You got Italiano, and then you've got Calvert.
Look, I personally think that if you could bring in someone like Klimovsky, it's a dream situation. The kind of football he plays suits what we want to see played at HBF Park. I think that can be agreed upon. Carl Veart, I think he plays some good football with his teams, but I'm worried about how open-ended it is. I have
It's Stadgeball 2.0.
It is Stadgeball. It is I'd say a better style of Stadgeball, in my opinion. I like Veart's football more than I like Stadge's football, but it is just another rendition of Stadgeball. Let's be completely honest here. That isn't saying that I wouldn't like to see Carl Veart here. I think that Carl Veart coming in could work, but there are definitely options out there that I would prefer. Top of the list, obviously, like we said, would be Peter Klimovsky.
It would do well at a club like Mariners, not at Perth.
I mean, what do you mean by that, though?
Because if we brought in Veart, let's say he's telling higher-ups, I want to improve these facilities, this department, etc. I feel like they're less likely to listen and actually action it than if it's Graham Arnold.
Yeah, but on the same sense, if he's a guy that wants to come in and make changes, I don't see him going to a club like the Mariners where they have very little financial sort of leeway at the moment. I mean, that is until the possible QPR takeover happens. If the QPR takeover happens, then we can kiss goodbye to anyone like Klimovsky or probably even Carl Veart. I'm just saying that I think we haven't been ruthless enough in the search for a new manager. I understand that they wanted to give it to Griffo till the end of the season,
No,
but
we shot ourselves
the
in the
writing
foot.
the writing has been on the wall for like 3 months now.
I just don't think we had the pull for that manager.
I understand that, but also at the same time, it's been very widely reported and accepted that we actually did have the pull for that manager. The only thing that we were missing is the willingness to actually put our money where our mouth is. And that's the frustrating thing, is that people still see Perth and managers still see Perth as a good project. They see it as a risk worth taking. They see it as a place that a potential sleeping giant of the A-League. They do see it as that. The only thing that they are missing is the financial compensation for taking the risk, which is something that you just have to give.
Well, let's put it this way. There's obviously the perception of it would be great if you could restore a club like Glory with the history that we have, and that's been our selling point for God knows how long. But it's like, how you actually do that within our environment, I think a lot of coaches would look at it and they'd go, we're interested by the idea, and then you look at the logistics as to how it's all going to work. They're like, okay, no.
But that's also why I think, and I think anyone at home can agree with this or disagree. I don't really care if you disagree with it. I don't really think you're correct. But I think the club needs a big shift from top to bottom. And I'm firmly in my belief of this, right?
Yeah.
And people are going to say I'm coping, but, let me land on this point.
Sure.
Sometimes losing is a better alternative than winning, because I find it better to lose if it means that you get change rather than win when it's meaningless. For example, right? with the Italian national team, it's been on a down.
here
No,
we
hold on. just hear me out on this point. Italy has been on a downward spiral in terms of their football since the 2010s because it didn't make the change to sort of bring through a new generation of footballers that knew how to actually attack and play with freedom. It's defensive,
3-5-2, all that
defensive rigidness and poo. That's what it is, right? And that's led to us not being able to bring through quality attackers. That has ultimately led to us losing in crucial moments to teams like Sweden, North Macedonia, Bosnia, et cetera, right? But now that we didn't qualify for the World Cup, you're seeing widespread changes. We've sacked the president of the FIGC. Gattuso is gone. Buffon is gone. And you're looking to bring in guys like Milano. You're looking to bring in guys like Baggio, like Maldini, like Del Piero onto the board.
They're doing that and then versus what we're going to do.
Exactly. But what I'm trying to say is that loss, I think, did better for Italian football. I'm happier at us losing that if it means that I'm going to watch the next 20, 30 years of Italian football be secured with positive action from the higher-ups. I would rather that than watch us go to a meaningless World Cup in which we probably get knocked out in the round of 32 and then we wait another 4 years, fiddling our thumbs. But the problem with the glory is that we've been on a downward spiral since...
Post-COVID.
Since the COVID season, I'd argue.
Yep.
We've been on a downward spiral.
Yep.
And we haven't made, I'd say, one positive action to at least go towards changing that. You even look at the back end of the Sage years, we were relying on big star names like Daniel Sturridge, even though... Yes, it didn't work out. Yes, it could have been different if it did work out. But I highly doubt that Daniel Sturridge in form would have been enough to get us into those finals places when we finished bottom of the league. You look at, since the Pellegrini group has come in, sacking Stadge after what was a terrible campaign defensively, but he had a shit squad and we gave him no backing.
Yep.
You look at getting rid of guys like Tony Pinata, Jacob Burns, burning those bridges there.
No, they left on their own accord.
They left on their own accord?
Yeah, that was pre.
I think more should have been done to keep those guys around or at least keep them in the fray.
But they did get rid of Kenny Lowe.
They did.
I'm not happy with how we treated Kenny Lowe. I'm not happy with how the club treated a lot of people. But what I'm trying to say in my rant is that losing is better than winning, but only if that loss brings about large scale changes for the benefits.
The problem is, Alex, you'd think that for like the glory, and we're promised every season, we finish the bottom, it's going to be a different rebuild next year. But we've been promised that the past 4 or 5 seasons.
Yeah. But that is the point of the argument.
That's the thing. I've lost belief.
No, but I understand that.
We'll sack everyone. We'll bring in the best people, and again we'll be disappointed.
But can I just add on that point real quick? Just because with the MGP, that's going to be in a couple of weeks' time.
Yep.
Not long after the Brisbane.
Still waiting on our invites, by the way, guys.
So. I'll be there for that, but the reason why I mention it is because I was there for our season launch, and it was very clear through our CEO and Anthony Radich, who was like, basically, no excuses. We got to make finals, and that's not even comparing what his speech was at the last MGP, where it was brutal, it was cutting, and it was like, this season has been shit. He obviously didn't say that, but worse to that effect. He was pretty firm with his thoughts. What line are they possibly... And that's not just Rado, but I'm talking about the club. Because what are the Pellegrini group, as an ownership, what do they have to show for the last 2 years? Where, yes, we had legacy issues for the first year. Yep. But what do they have to say after the first 2 years, and particularly with our 30th anniversary coming up, that they can go to the people of Perth and go, guys, stick with us. This is going to be a big year, and this is why. They're gonna try spinning that, and we're going to go, bullshit. You said that this season, and we finished basically where we have been the last few years. There has been no substantial change. Yeah. So I think that's where we are.
I do want to say, on Josh's point as well, I completely agree. The whole point of my rant is me saying that in the case of Italy, yes, it took a long time to get those changes, but this has probably been the most devastating loss in the history of Italian football, bar when we lost the World Cup final to Brazil on penalties. This is an awful loss for Italian football, and as a result, they are making huge large-scale changes, the likes of which the Italian FA has never seen.
Yeah.
Glory being one of the most historic clubs in A-League history, one of the biggest sleeping giants in terms of sporting teams in Australia, and ultimately, a big club that has never found that success at A-League level. Where is the change? We're still waiting for it to happen. And the problem is that we've had disastrous year on disastrous year on disastrous year. Even Italy can look at, the Euros win in 2021 and breaking the record for the most games unbeaten by an international side in history and say, well, we've had our success there. Maybe we didn't have the success we wanted at the World Cup, but we've had our success throughout. When has the
Been
Glory had success?
short-lived.
When has the Glory had
Yeah.
success throughout the after the Popovich era? Throughout
Well, we've not
post-COVID?
created a future because we love that we've got a proud history tagline, and no doubt that's going to be used for.
But
next
that
season.
history is going to be lost because
It already is lost.
No, I understand that,
That's
but
the
I'm
point.
genuinely concerned.
We don't
that
have a
this
future.
club has a genuine risk of folding at some point. Like,
Well,
no.
We'll see if it-
You need to understand.
No, I
something,
hear
right?
you, but it's like
I genuinely worry if. I'm more worried than most about the ownership situation because what concerns me isn't necessarily whether or not Pelligra is the right owner. It's whether or not if Pelligra gets tired of this and doesn't want to do this anymore, is there anyone actually out there, bar Tony Sage, of course, because he'd love to take the club back, I'd assume.
Yeah.
But is there anyone actually out there that would be willing to take a punt on us apart from just another club that is looking for an A-League affiliate such as QPR?
Well, I think that'll be interesting to see when we get to the end of the season because I'd imagine we'd start to hear more from Ross because that was also what happened last year as well. We started to hear more from Ross. But I'll just jump back into the fan comments because we had a few.
Sorry.
Some random musicals season 10 had a video of Nigel Farage saying boring after he said
Boring.
Team needs a new gimmick aside from dropping winnable points. Yeah, good point. PGFC enjoyer, he said, same old glory, am I right? I'm starting to slightly fade away from being a PGFC enjoyer, but I'm holding it together because we're going to win the Oz Cup. Honestly, we did look a bit better. Unfortunately, season's over now, so it doesn't really matter. Ethan,
I would love an Oz Cup run.
in this world,
That'd be
nothing.
a great way to start the next season.
It would be.
In this world, nothing can be certain. Oh, sorry. Nothing can be said to be certain except Perth Glory disappointment and Diablo yellow cards.
That's so true. That's
a fair point.
Oh my god! I'm starting to think that it's free money. I'm starting to think that every game I should just put money on Diablo to get a yellow card, and he won't get it.
Ulysses Davida? No. Ulysses Davida.
No, but I'm starting to think like with my luck with sports betting, I'm thinking like if I go into every game and put like $5 on Glory to lose and
Yellow
Diablo to
card.
get a yellow card,
Might be making money.
It's either guaranteed money or we don't lose, or Diablo doesn't get a yellow. Like it's win-win for me, honestly.
Ryan, he said, first 20 we played like Barca, the last 70 we played like Macclesfield. Tom,
Hey, respect on Mac, bro. They beat Crystal Palace in the FA Cup this season, man. Respect on Macclesfield.
Tom, I started as a new member from being a Euro snob about 3 seasons ago. I cancelled my membership this year when they kept Driller on. Since we started losing under Griffo, I have now reached the point of not caring. I haven't even watched more than 30 minutes of the last 4 games. Boring in all caps.
Has Tom commented on our videos?
Yes.
That's the frustrating thing. It's like I try and bring my friends and introduce them to the Perth Glory because they're like, oh, nah, Australian football sucks. You know, I like watching like my Prem team, whatever. I'm like, nah, just come to a Perth Glory game. It's live football. Like, you'll love it. And then every time I bring someone, we either lose or it's just like, shit.
This is the exact reason why I just refuse to bring my girlfriend to any games because I'm like, I don't want you to see me in just this state of despair.
I don't want you to have to watch what I'm having to watch.
She watches my match day vlogs. She watches my match day vlogs and she's like, oh, why are you always so angry? And I'm like,
Come
you
to
don't
the games and
understand.
you'll find out.
You don't fucking under. She was a Real Madrid fan growing up, and she
Right.
wonders why I'm angry watching Perth Glory. It's because you've never had to deal with this kind of shit. You don't understand what it's like.
Daniel Fieldgate, throwing points away again. Same issues every week. Hard to stay invested when nothing changes. Griffiths, again, unable to impact the game. Like changes when we needed to wrestle back momentum. No ability to change system or formation. The broom has to go through this club in the off-season, genuinely questioning whether I continue my 20-year run as a member. Stompy, we are lucky the Wanderers have no interest in winning games. BV, lucky to get away with the draw, to be honest. Outmanned in the midfield again. Pennington should have been played as a centre mid. No flexibility from Griffo again. If plan A doesn't work, try plan A again. P.S. Alex, there is no I in Ryan Fraser's name. Keep up the good work, Glory Days, lads. I think because you say it as Frazier. Frazier.
Ryan Fraser.
Frazier.
Ryan Fraser.
So the way that he might be hearing it is there's some mystery I
Oh,
in there.
okay. That's fair enough. I was going to say, on the point of the Wanderers not wanting to win games, thank God for Marcus Eunice,
stink.
man. Thank the Lord for Marcus Eunice. Hey, have you seen the photo of his foot mob thing with the 2 assist logos, the goal logo, the 2 yellow cards, and the red? All he was missing was the check engine light on top. I swear,
He's so good, man.
he is so good.
And remember we were like, oh, maybe the Glory should sign him. And what did you say, James?
I don't remember. I've said a lot of shit. Did I say no?
No, his end product's not.
Oh,
there.
yeah, you said something about end product. I do remember you saying something about... I don't know if it was on pod or if it was off pod. I think it would have been off pod that we would have mentioned it.
I've run... My mouth has just been running so
But
much shit that my brain can't check.
I was talking about like, I'm pretty sure Will played with him back in the Wanderers youth. Project Will, Agent Will Franey get Marcus Eunice over, and you said, look, he's just not what we need.
Did I say?
We need someone with end product on the wing.
To give myself a little bit of rope? Did I say that I'd rather have an experienced option that has output off the wing?
I'm pretty sure those are the exact words.
So but because I've said that as my parameter, like off the bat, if I was saying no to Eunice, it's like. Obviously, that's a bit wild, but why I was saying is like, well, at the time, because we were looking at making finals, we had Lawrence as having goals, Tags was in and out with goals, but we needed more reliable sources of goals.
Yeah, that's
and that was something that Griff was saying with some of our other players, our younger guys, that they need to have more output. Otherwise, we're just not going to score enough goals. And somehow we scored 2 in this game.
Griff needs to output some brains.
I do have a point I want to bring up after the fan comments are done.
You can bring it up now if you want.
Just before you do, I'm not getting much audio from you.
Wait, really?
It's flatlining. Just talk.
Yes.
It is flat. It's flatlining like Josh has died. Hold on. Sorry, viewers. Jesus Christ. He has risen, but no, technical difficulties.
Happy Easter, by the way, to all of our viewers. Happy Easter.
Yeah, we got crucified on that part. So anyway.
There was technical difficulties for anyone wondering.
Yeah,
And,
so we
we're back.
apologise for that. Make sure to flame fucking whatever the hell happened here in the comments. But yeah, we'll get onto the game itself. It was boring as fuck. I mean, look, okay, no, I'm actually underselling it because the first 20 minutes, and then I'll get you guys... No, well, this one had a little bit more juice to it. Like, it was a bit more oomph. And it was like, we're playing football. I'm not watching NFL or AFL where it's just hoofball and, missile football, but it was actually good football to watch. And shock horror, when we played the ball on the ground, we actually looked like a side that, I'm not going to say finals, but it's like a side that's half competent, considering what we have been at various points this season. And it's like when we play football on the ground, it's like, it was good to see.
Yeah.
But then the obvious question was, okay, how long is it going to last for?
Not very long was the answer.
Yeah, so...
How good was Jaden Kaczarski?
He
was solid.
That was a good game. I thought he had a really good game.
And it's interesting because this is the first time he's like actually played on the wing for me, and I was like, oh, he's actually looked like he's doing that role quite well.
I agree. I think the only role that I've seen him in this season that I just haven't really rated him in too much is just that like leading striker role. I think he's been all right in the 10. I think he's been all right out on the right, even out on the left. I think he's been okay, but just like at that leading striker role, I just don't think he's.
Well, has the environment platformed many of our players?
No, but the environment at this club hasn't platformed a single person for 7 fucking years.
No, I know that, but it's just like obviously narrowing it into our context.
The environment here is polluted. It is destroyed. It's done. We're in Wally. We need to like get off this fucking planet immediately. Like that's the kind of environment we have here.
Yeah. Any other brief first thoughts on the game? Talking to you, Mike, Josh, just in case it goes to shit. Talking to that motherfucker.
Despo's goal was like decent.
It was better than decent, man. It was a good goal.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good header, but sort of expected it.
I thought it was a lovely goal.
No, I wasn't saying it wasn't. I was just saying, like, it's what I expect.
I mean, that's fair. That's
stiff.
Pause. No, I thought it was a really good goal. Really well worked.
I was not expecting it. I will say.
I wasn't expecting it, to be fair. I did not expect JK. I did not expect Despo to be the one to pop up with the opening goal. In all fairness to him, but
the build-up work was pretty good.
Once again, by the way, James, absolute shock horror. When you put Despo in his natural position, he actually looks like a competent A-League level footballer. Almost as if that's something we've been asking for the entire season. It's just a shame that we had Pennington on the left wing again.
Who suggested that?
I suggested it for one game.
I'm never dropping that.
Hold on.
One
game, and it worked when he did it. One game, and it worked when he did it. After that, I never wanted to see it again. I never suggested it again. Guess what? He kept doing it. And it's not my fault that he kept doing it.
Well, it just happened to be one of our most viewed clips, Alex.
Well, guess what? You're welcome then. In all seriousness, though, beautiful work by JK down on the right-hand side. I have, James, I think both you and I have been racking our brains trying to sort out this winger scenario because I think it's our biggest problem position. I think it's fair to say.
One of them.
Well, for me it is at least because we've just not created enough from wide areas this season.
No 1v1 threat.
No 1v1 threat at all. But JK put on a really good performance today, and I know that, you know, I might be jumping the gun because it's only been one performance, but I genuinely think that if he can build some good form and if we can keep him in one position, that is what I want. I want us to just say to him, look, this is your position here that we're going to be playing you in. Fight for that position. You know, hone your craft in that position. Because realistically, that's how you're going to get the best out of JK. He's a player that can play, you know, 4 or 5 positions. We know this. But we just need JK to be a guy that can just focus on honing his craft in one particular area, because that's how we're going to get the best out of him.
Really
And what do you know?
Out wide creative output, because mate, those crosses were spot on. They weren't just into a
Exactly.
medium, they were point crosses.
Exactly. And I think having tags there definitely helps as well, rather than having someone up top like, you know, Suleimani or, you know,
Tags
whoever else.
he's finally figured out how to get back to his old self. And
I agree.
Or did I not say? Oh, actually, I wasn't on the pod, but I was saying to myself when he's back from the international break, because he finally looked like he was, you know, 60-70% of tags what he was before at the City game, and I was like, you know what, this is perfect. He's got an international break ahead of him. He'll fully recover from his injury.
Josh is flatlined again, bro.
Yell into your mic.
I'm yelling.
No,
Yes,
louder.
louder.
So now he's back in.
Just you've got to be loud,
So
otherwise,
now-
otherwise this
yeah.
motherfucker won't pick up.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, yeah, you went no.
Anyway, yeah, he's fully recovered from his injury pretty much, and now we're really starting to see the tags that I was expecting to see, because you could. I'm literally.
Oh no! I'm just showing you. No, it's good.
Anyway, you could see before he it limited his pace. I think it was his heel injury. His pace, his movement, his shooting, and everything. You know, it looks like he's starting to gain that back. So I'm not surprised at all.
Well, I think once he got that goal to get that weight off his shoulder, now he's starting to get back to his old self. But it's still like. It's been a huge inhibitor to the team this season, his inability to kick on. And it's not all on tags, and that can't be the conclusion, but it's like when he's your best player and he's not performing, it obviously does have the knock-on effect for
it's frustrating, because I'm like, I wish we had, you know, a fully fit and firing tag at this season, because I do genuinely think if we had the tags now that we do earlier for the whole season, we be in a completely different position. But it's like you can't solely blame that on one player, and you can't use that one player as your scapegoat, because it hides other problems.
Yeah, no, that is fair.
He's been living off shit for the whole season.
That is also true. I think we can acknowledge the fact that Tags just hasn't had the best service, while also acknowledging that he's, in terms of his form, has dropped off a cliff this year. But I'm happy to see that he is starting to build back some of that confidence. I do just think that we need to make sure that we're adjusting our play to get the most out of him, because I think we all know Tags isn't the type of striker that we can now send to run in behind 1v1s. He's not that kind of striker anymore. He hasn't got the legs for it. But what he still is one of the best fox in the box strikers in Australia, in the A-League. He is going to be that guy that if you get the ball to him in the box, most of the times that he receives that kind of ball, he's going to be able to put it into the back of the net. We need to put him in situations to score there more often, and that's why you need better creators on the wing for me. So when we do come to the case of next season, when we're looking at, you know, who exactly is going to be that guy off of the wings for us, I want to see some proactivity there. I'm fine with keeping JK on at the right wing. I really am.
Back to my point I was going to bring up too before all the technical difficulties. If we were to, let's say, keep Tags on next year, which I'd expect, who would you sort of like to see around him?
You need elite wingers.
I think in James's argument, I do think you need elite wingers, but I also am humbled in the fact that we probably can't attract elite wingers right now, because right now we have four visa spots taken up. The only spot we have left is for a marquee player.
No, you've got your 4, but then you've got one more with Amos.
Designated. Sorry.
Well, have we gone from smaller salary cap to marquee player? I'm confused.
No.
No.
I'm saying like in terms of fitting in an extra visa because you can.
It's
fit
still
in
gonna, it's still going to be a standard visa, I would assume.
Yeah.
Because there's also going to be players that are off contract.
But who are you going to offload? Because none of our visas are off contract apart from Tom Lawrence.
So that's why
If you're looking to bring in two,
well,
So James, Daily Mail.
Anyway.
Do you have any Do you know anything about the salary cap levels?
No, I don't. No, but
no one knows.
No
anything.
one
Not
knows.
even the PFA
no
knows
one knows.
Yeah, but
anything.
you can't just change. Like the clubs need to know.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
why the PFA are going so hard to delay it because the PFA are just going to hope that by the time we get closer to the season, if the A-League still wants to implement it, they're not going to be able to because it's taken
There's no
too long.
CBA agreement.
Yeah.
So they've got to work that out, and we've
Yeah.
not heard anything.
The
saying
players
that it has
don't want
been
a
done.
salary cap decrease. Personally, I don't want a salary cap decrease at all. If anything, I'd rather we just sack off the salary cap altogether.
Yeah.
But it's just not going to happen, unfortunately, because we can't get nice things. But look, in terms of attracting top wingers, I don't think we're in the position to do that right now because the winger market, in terms of expiring contracts, is relatively dead.
The only thing that we can consider is sort
I
of
think-
on that point when we had that when I think it was you and I when we had that chat to Stan after the City game where it was like we can't be content with okay anymore. Well, I think and it's a simple point, but I do think we need to cut the squad fairly significantly so that we can have more top end earners so that across our front line because they're going to want the big bucks. They're not going to see right now much appeal in Perth Glory. And if we can bring in some top wingers, I think that'll change things significantly. And if you're wanting depth, you've got an academy.
Yeah.
You've got to expose them to
This
something.
No, I
their
do agree, but-
recruitment will be very crucial for us in our final hopes because this is different. This season we got away with like our midfield because we got lucky with Will, Debray and Bozza, but they were not us. Well, besides Bozza, they weren't really our starting midfielders at the season start.
Well, we all had
Or Amos, we thought
Pennington, Bozanovsky.
Pennington, we thought I forgot his name.
What, Reese?
No, not
Timmins.
Reese. Timmins and someone else.
Brano.
Brano.
Right.
We have so many, I've forgotten about half of them.
Yeah.
But like I completely agree with you, James. When you look at guys that aren't essentially just taking up a spot here, you look at the guys like Brano.
Well,
like
it's not
Rizzo,
no need to
like-
name names, but it's like
Well, no. But
I know what you
I
mean-
think
I know what you
I think
mean,
we're
though.
justified in naming names.
No, you're
because-
right, but it's just
because-
like we've
because
We've
the-
dodged a bullet this season.
we have
No.
we have dodged a bullet.
But I do want to say, it is poor planning from the club. I think we can
When
all.
have we been great at planning?
No. But like I think it's important that we do name names because when you look at guys like Brano, like Rizzo,
Yeah.
you look at guys like even Suleimani, like Gabriel Popovich. It's just like, well, these guys are taking up chunks of the wage budget. What are they doing? Like realistically, what are they offering us right now? No. I don't mean to say it like an asshole. I know these guys are good players, and there's probably a club out there.
This isn't a go at the players.
No,
this
no,
is more
not at all. This is a go at the club
question
for
to the
saying,
club.
wait-
It's like, how can you bring on all these players?
Exactly. And when there's reports saying that we're still having to pay out fees for other stuff and stuff like that, and the club ultimately is not in the best scenario financially.
That was last season though.
No. But it's.
I don't
I'd
know.
say the best signing we've made this whole season was Matt Sutton. For the reason that it's actually smart. We haven't brought in three other... But we've locked him in for 3 years. He's young. He's good. He's a good long-term investment for the club for actually rebuilding towards something.
I just think we jumped the gun too much on some of these scholarship deal signings. I think we jumped and that's not
we
enough
were
to the
too
scholarship
impulsive
deal.
with our transfer business.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Look, I'm a guy that really likes having good, young, promising talent on scholarship deals. My only concern is that how many guys do we have on scholarship deals and how many appearances have we seen from them this season?
Not a
Ollie
lot.
Evans we have on a scholarship deal.
Yeah.
Great young player, on good form in the NPL. Hasn't even made the bench in an
way too
A-League
early for him to
appearance
be in
yet.
the A-League.
Ryan Warner is not even on a scholarship deal, and he's
Taddy, yeah.
our backup goalkeeper. Taddy made one substitute appearance and
That's
never
it,
made it to the
yeah.
A-League squad again, even though we were crying out for a backup right back. Like, there's so many guys in this squad that are on scholarship deals that we're not even looking to use. And the season is done and dusted. We've got 3 games left and we're 8 points off of making finals. I would
Forget
honestly,
about-
at this stage, rather we just give some of these young guys a chance. I don't want to see us, twiddling our thumbs.
I think for us,
No, but I don't
we
wanna
can't
see us
finish last, man.
I understand.
But
Look, But here's the thing. It's just like, what is the difference between finishing second bottom and bottom? It's still shit. Like, it's not going to make me feel any better looking at it and be like, oh, well, at least we're not the Wanderers, eh? Like, we're still shit, man. Like, come on. At least the Wanderers
But that's not. But it won't change. It won't change the outcome either way, because if whether we finish 12th or 11th or 10th, whatever it's going to be, that's our position.
It's still a failure. It's still a massive failure.
It's a failure of a season, and that was the thing. I was on radio earlier this week, and the guy that I was talking to, he was like, "Oh, what are your thoughts on the season?" And then I eventually led on to it and said, "Mate, I reckon it's been a total failure." And then when I said that, he was sort of like, "That's a bit of a strong statement," and I was like, "Yeah, but understand a bit of context. At the time, it was 1 win in 10. Now it's 1 win in 11." That's shocking. And given the standards that were set by the club very publicly and very clearly at the start, the fact that we didn't follow through with them.
I would love to know who you were on the radio with, because to not be able to see that this season's been a categorical failure is one of the most delusional things I've ever heard.
But it's on the game itself. This is exactly as Josh was saying earlier. It's a complete encapsulation of our season, where it was a bit of promise, and we thought that at the start of the season with the players that we brought in, and yes, we were still a little bit, oh shit, is Driller still the right one? Is he really going to get things going this time around? And then as we start to see more of the product, we realised, no, it's not sustainable, and it just falls over itself. And so while there were 2 really good goals from Despo, which if you watch the whole thing back, that was really well constructed. Just the short passing, no hoofball. So funny, again, when we don't play hoofball, we look a better team. And then for Tags' goal, we got played through 1-on-1. How many times have we done that for Tags this season, where we've literally slipped in through and he's had the chance against the goalkeeper?
Those are the types of goals that I want to see him scoring more. Those are the types of chances we want him to create for him more. It's not relying on him to get in behind a high line and sprint against a centre back. It is literally just relying on his incredible football IQ and movement, which is what happened. He makes a beautiful cutting run in between the right back and the right centre back, gets him behind and slots a finish past the keeper. Like it is.
That's his bread and butter.
It is a bread and butter Taggart goal.
Yeah.
It is a literal bread and butter goal for him.
But that was a frustrating thing as well, because Griff was talking to us in that meeting early last month, where he was saying, I watched all of Tag's goals that he scored for us, and I was like, then you would have seen, like when we were playing under Stadge, there were lots of those transition moments where we had fast attacks, and it wasn't necessarily through hoofball. Yeah, we were sitting deep quite a lot and we exploded that way, but it was still fast attacks. And the way that we attack generally and how we are on the ball, our behaviours are too inconsistent that we just don't create those opportunities for Tags to begin with.
I simply don't believe he's watched back Taggart's goal, because I refuse to believe that he watches Ryan Williams giving opportunities to Tags and then thinks that Nicholas Pennington's going to offer. Like, I'm sorry, but watching Ryan Williams and Tags at Masso Park was quite literally like watching Messi and Suarez at Barca.
Keegs as well. Yeah.
Yeah, literally. Comparing what we had at Masso Park, it's like MSN compared to, what we have in our actual front line now.
Like Garnacho, Hoyland, and...
Yeah, like legit.
Touch on the Mariners' goals. Unless there are any other thoughts on our first 2 goals? Josh,
not particularly.
Any thoughts on our first 2 goals?
It was just that second one was just a very typical Tags goal, but, I felt like I was dreaming, to be honest, because I'm like, I haven't seen this in so long, like especially from Tags. I'm like, what am I watching?
Credit on GD Abreu, first goal involvement in professional football for him, and assist for the Taggart goal. So very nice. Congratulations, G.
Solid.
Yeah.
And then Ali Orgler with his free kick.
I said this in the group chat at the time as well. Why is it always the most mid players that turn into superheroes against us?
And I'm going to call it.
What is Ali Ugla or Bailey Brantman like? What have they, or Samuel Klein, what have they ever done against any other team in the A-League?
And
but the moment they play against the Glory, it's just like, I guess I'm Ronaldo then. Like,
and I'm going to call it Matt Sutton. His player rating is going to get absolutely obliterated. Everyone's going to be like, oh, it's his fault. He got a hand. He shouldn't have let it in. But
I'm surprised Christos.
Yeah, where was Christos?
I'm surprised he hasn't doxed Sutton's home address yet. Like, honestly.
Fuck. But just that goal itself, I mean, fair play, because I'm pretty sure, if I'm not wrong, it was Diabreu who made that lung buster of a run back, mistimed the tackle, but
got a yellow.
So it was good to see the effort, but then it was just probably how we play, we just got a little bit too naive and a little bit excited that we neglected our defensive responsibilities. Griff kind of talked about it post game, but yeah, that shit shouldn't be happening where teams are cutting through us, and that's been a bit of a problem the last few games, especially. Good shot, good free kick from Orgler, but I think you'd be wanting a little more from your goalkeeper.
Oh, that's a bit.
That's a bit harsh.
Did he get a hand to it?
James,
I think he got a hand to it.
I'll be so real.
I think he got a hand to it.
Okay.
I think for me, he should be doing a little bit more.
Yeah, but
Okay,
James,
cool.
he isn't-
Sure.
I'm standing
It's
by
a
that.
fucking free kick
Be
from like
realistic,
23
I-
yards.
bro.
Any disrespect to Matt Sutton, but
I think he
this
could have done
is
more.
Matt Sutton. We're not talking about Donnarumma.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's
Look,
been solid this
James,
year. He's
in
made a
all
lot of great
fairness-
saves.
In all fairness, from
expect
that kind of area,
Yes.
that is quite literally
It was
the best.
I know he
possible
got-
area on
Okay,
for
if
a
he
free
saved
kick from.
that would be save of the season
Easily.
in the whole league.
Easily.
So wait, if you're acknowledging that if he saves it, it would have been save of
It
the
would have-
season.
and it
how
would
are
have
you
been a-
saying,
it
I
would have-
should have done more there.
But because the fact that he was that
That's
close.
like
he
a player
was,
takes a
he
shot
was
from 40
close to getting there.
takes a shot from
he was
40
close
yards,
to getting
knocks
there.
off the crossbar.
For
Oh,
me,
he could have done better
For me,
there.
I felt he could have done better, and it would have been a great save. It's just
Literally in the ideal
It's
spot
just-
for someone to
but
take a
it's
free
just-
kick
no,
from.
hold
That
on.
is the
It's
golden.
just our
the golden
fucking
area.
luck.
I don't think any other keeper in the
It's-
league would save that.
Like
There's maybe an argument for one or two, but
yeah, but I don't want to put it up to like
but it's
which
just
keeper saves
but
it, which
it's
keeper
just
doesn't.
our
It's just a
no.
good
But hold
free
on,
kick.
it's just our luck that when you have Diabrio who makes the run back, a lungbuster of a run, which is the kind of effort that we want to see from our players, is unlucky that he concedes the foul. And then that fucking effort that Orgler has just somehow sneaks in. Look, okay, it was also a good goal. No, not going to take anything away from his technique. It's a good free kick. You know, we don't see a lot of free kick goals in the A-League as is, aside unless you're Eli Adams who just somehow pulls them out every week. But the fact that we couldn't, in this game, capitalise and put our foot on the throat, that's been a huge problem this season. And I think we've had that many discussions as a podcast about when is this team going to take that next step. And we couldn't do it. And then, yeah, I felt they got into the game after the 25th, 30th minute. That's when they started to really get a bit of a rhythm going. I think we had a few chances in the second half. I think Kaczarski had an effort that got deflected onto the crossbar. But I don't really remember too many other noteworthy moments.
We hit the crossbar 4 times.
Yeah. I mean, that's our fucking luck
Like
as well.
Tags hit it, JK hit it twice.
That's our fucking luck.
Despo had that decent opportunity where he sort of just like rushed the shot and sent it into Rosed.
Yeah.
There was that one as well. Like,
Yeah. But and this was the thing as well. I would have hated to a point if we won that game, because if we were going to use that as a litmus test to say we're back or this is our attack back again, I would have gone, no, we had 20 games before then, excluding the other Central Coast game, where our attack has just not been at the level required.
There
too late,
is
yeah.
nothing in my mind that anyone from the club or any player or any member of staff can say to convince me that Griffo is the man for the job. I'm sorry. Like I'm at that point now. I'm
done?
I'm done. The ship has
Yeah.
sailed. It's gone. It's done. Goodbye. Thanks for the
Right,
memories,
Griff,
Griff.
but it's,
You've had your
we'll never know. That's the problem.
But the thing is like I'm happy with never knowing, as long as I don't have to take the risk of going into next season and finding out the answer for it to be an answer I don't like. You know what I mean? I'd rather we just cut out
Like we did with Driller.
Yeah, I'd rather like the argument with Zrilla was like, oh, but you know he didn't have his players, and you know when you give him his players, he's gonna do better, guys. And we were like, okay, well we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. We'll see how it goes. And then it was 2 games of shit, and we cut our losses.
Or even
but it was like,
pre-season, that was a bit of a disaster.
yeah, preseason was awful. We lost every single one of our games except the one against Sterling Macedonia.
And that wasn't even their best team they put
It
out.
was terrible. It was terrible. Even the in-house friendly looked like shit. Like. But then, look, with Griffo, I'm more than happy to reminisce over what could have been, rather than stick it out with another, preseason when we know that he's not the right man for us. Because I've seen more than enough evidence to know that he's not the right man for us. You can't change a coaching philosophy overnight. You can't change it over the course of a 4-month preseason. It takes a long time.
Take Colby over Griff.
I'm not saying who I take. I'm just saying that
You got to think of someone, because
I have thought of some. I
can't get rid of a coach without bringing another coach.
My ideal guy, and I've said this, and I will say it again.
But
My
that's your ideal
guy.
guy, but can we bring him in? No.
No, but we can
Be
look at...
realistic.
but
My
we can-
ideal guy is
but-
Klimovsky, but if not, I
No,
would rather Veart.
what you can do...
I would rather Veart. I would rather Italiano. I would rather a lot of fucking people.
You should conduct a process, because if we give it to Griff by default simply because he's there, then what have we learned from the last few seasons?
We
It's
haven't
like
learnt anything.
we've got to
Obviously, the options there because we gave him till the end of the season. But what I'm saying is, who do you bring in? Because I don't think we have the pool to bring in another big coach.
Well, then that's up to fucking Ross then.
Okay, can we like not go on with this whole thing of you need a big coach? We don't need Graham Arnold. We just need someone that fits the style that we want to play and fits the ambition of the board.
If we bring in Stanton, is that what you're saying?
Then what? You haven't really.
I don't want Stanton, bro. Okay.
But you're saying
I'd take Veart, I'd take Italiano, I'd take.
You need someone with a defined philosophy.
Let's say we bring in Italiano, right?
Okay.
And we start losing games, then what?
Because you have to see
what do you blame it on?
Why are we losing games? Because that's the question. Because this was a team that we felt could have made the finals at the start of the season.
Yeah,
this team
should have made the finals.
It should have made finals. Now, were there factors outside of our control that contributed to this season? Yes, we had players that were injured. We had players that got sold on. We had a coaching change 2 games in, which no doubt would have impacted things, particularly that early phase where we lost those 2 home games against Mariners and Melbourne Victory. But then when Griff had the chance, he showed a little bit of life, but then we never proved if it was actually him coaching the players better or if it was just a reaction post-Driller. And then after, when he got the permanent job, his points per game record is basically 1. If I'm not wrong, it's basically 1 or even less than that. So for me, then you've got to look at a bigger picture rather than just the coach. So I do agree, it's not just on the coach. It's too easy to put on the coach. And it's your environment, because at the end of the day, this leadership group is the one that's going to be putting the players out for the next coach, having the environment for the next coach. And we've already gone through that many coaches.
We would have bring in, all the ideal players next season that Griff wanted and would suit his system. I actually think we do all right. But the problem is you've got to learn how to adapt and you've got to work with the players that we have now. Because even still, it might not be, yes, we might not have the best available wingers to suit his system, but I feel like any good coach with the players we have on paper could make a finals team.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the argument we were making, and that's why I was a fan of the club only giving him till the end of the season, because realistically...
Because I rate Griff as a coach.
You do?
Look,
I still rate him. I still think he's a decent coach.
I think he has some great qualities as a defensive coach.
What if
I just think that as an overall football coach, as a head coach, I don't think he's good enough. He's not adaptable. He's not pragmatic.
That would be my question. What have you seen?
Because I've seen him come into an absolutely diabolical team and actually because yes, we the stats aren't great, but he has made us look half competent. I will still admit that.
Even now,
we're not winning games. But then again, you can't say that we've given him the best resources.
But how long do you have half competent as a baseline? At what point do we go beyond that as a metric?
And also, let's not forget, he's had the best resources since Popovich. He had better resources than Richie. He had better resources. I understand that, but he's had better resources than a lot of coaches. For God's sake, we didn't even have a stadium under Zadkovic for most of the time. Yeah. We didn't have. Our preseason got scuffed for a large portion of it. We still managed to finish. What we finished 9th.
What
was it? What I'm trying to say is, yes, he will probably move on at the end of the season, but it's not like I think he is still a decent coach, and I think he hides some of the bigger issues at our club. And I think it's using him as a scapegoat.
I'd rather but let's say if we're going to shift it slightly to a footballing thing. He said he wanted to be a possession-oriented coach. I'd rather if you have your way of football, if you have your possession style of football, you play it. And if the players aren't up to it, then they'll be exposed within that system. But then we'll actually get to see if you're a good enough coach, because he only reached a certain level but could then never go above it, even when he had the likes of Lawrence and Bozanovsky, because we still weren't getting consistency in performance with those 2 guys on the team.
Yeah,
I don't buy it that as soon as those guys are out of the team, oh no.
Look, my issue with Griff is the fact that he is nowhere near adaptable enough to coach in the A-League, and that's the problem. I know in an ideal world, if he was able to handpick his players, he could have gotten better stuff out of the squad. Of course he could have, but the problem is that with the A-League, especially in a salary-capped league where you're fighting with other Australian clubs for the top tier of Australian players, you're not going to be able to get your ideal squad. We've never had an ideal squad at any point in our club's history, maybe apart from when Popper was here in our title-winning season. Yeah, and we never will have an ideal squad.
If Griff didn't go to another A-League club, he wouldn't be successful.
But it depends on what the context is. You can't say that just because he goes to another club he has success, because what if he goes under the same circumstances he went with us? Sure, it's nice of us to sit here and say, well, if he had a preseason, he had all the players that he wanted. Yeah, that's fine. But at the same time, we've seen that he's been given a really good hand. He's been given a squad that on paper is probably a top 4 squad.
I think on paper he's been given a good hand. Let's say you went to a club like Brisbane, he'd probably shit the bed. But if he went to a club like Mariners, maybe doesn't have the best players on paper, but has better, facilities and backing and.
They don't have better facilities than us.
He doesn't. They're ownerless, Josh.
That's a hard example. Maybe
Newcastle.
But I understand what you mean.
Maybe
like in Adelaide, for example.
Western Sydney Wanderers.
Okay.
No.
I
think
actually
Western
agree.
Sydney are in a similar boat to us because
they are in a similar boat. But I agree with what you're saying that if you give a manager that's obviously tactically sound better resources, he's going to be able to. It's the Guardiola fallacy all over again, where you can't put a good coach in a shit team and expect it to work because their style of football is too
product
complicated.
of environment.
The problem
product
is
of environment. That's the big thing.
Yeah, but the problem is if Guardiola walked into our club tomorrow and was still sticking by playing tiki-taka, I would have just the same criticism that I'm having with Griffo of, no, you need to adapt to what you have because your style is too complicated. Just with Griff, I'm critical of the fact that he's not adapting because you have great players in your squad that you're not getting the most out of because you're not changing your system to suit what they can do. He's not got the most out of Kachasi. He's not got the most out of Pennington, Taggart, Sutton. He's not got the most out of any player in our squad, maybe bar Bozanovsky.
But the reason I said Mariners is because Mariners are broke. Right, they've got no money, so they're extremely stingy on how they spend their money, and that forces them to think about their investments a lot more.
Yeah,
and I think that's what we lack. We just spend. Tom Lawrence is available. That's a bad example, but we just throw money at our problems, thinking it'll fix it.
And that's again why it's a product of our environment, and that's why there probably should be an independent review that's done of our procedures, like we've called for some time, because. It doesn't matter if the argument is it doesn't matter which coach comes in, we're still going to be in a similar position. Yeah, I'd probably agree with that to an extent because we've had that many coaches and no one's been able to crack it. Griff sort of had it for a little bit, but then we just couldn't bottle it and go forward.
I just don't think if we bring in even
Carl Veert's he's not our saviour.
He's not
it's a fallacy that there's a saviour Popovich type manager that's out.
I don't think anyone, especially myself, is thinking that Carl Veart is going to come down like.
But I know you're not saying it either though.
Fix the club.
You're not saying
what I'm saying is that let's say as a hypothetical, we do get our shit sorted out over the off season. We get rid of the board. We get in people that know what they're doing, and we can fix the club from the inside out. Right. Mm-hmm. If we can fix all of those problems behind the scenes, are you happy with going with Griff into the next season, knowing the style of football that he intends to play? Because for me personally, for a squad that's wanting to get to the top 6 and possibly wanting to go further than that, I'm not happy with that because I want to see a club that is willing to play on the front foot.
If we bring in the right football people and they believe that, because they're not stupid, if they believe that Griff's the right guy and they're experienced football people who have been to other A-League clubs and they believe Griff is the right guy to move us forward, then I respect their decision and I'll back them.
That's absolutely fair.
Yeah.
That's absolutely fair. I personally, for me, I just want to see a more ambitious approach to having a coach. Because the last coach that we actually had that was willing to actually go on the front foot in games was Popper, and it got us a league title. I know it's Popper. I know he had a great squad.
Stadge
great
tried
people
to do it, but then
him.
obviously just got it wrong.
Exactly, but with Stadge, he had a squad that I would imagine would be beaten by a handful of NPL teams.
Yeah.
Like it was a bad squad, and he still got Adam Taggart the A-League Golden Boot and a Socceroos recall out of it. Like that season wasn't worthless,
No.
And ultimately. Stadge drummed a lot of the interest back into the glory in what were really tough times for the club with us being outside of NIB or HBF, sorry.
Nothing,
exactly. But to cut the point out, I would rather we turned away from Griffo because I've seen enough of the defensive tactics. It worked when we started out.
It was survival mode.
Yeah, it worked out. It worked out when we were playing against, when we were playing those initial games in Sydney under, Newcastle and MacArthur and the Wanderers. Right. It worked for that short period. But once teams figured out how to break us down, nothing changed. He never attempted to change it. He never shifted anything around. He never tried anything different. It was the same. And it looks to me like he's just been happy to plod along the entire time and just wait for the season to end. It's not good enough because personally for me, by now, surely you should be able to see that certain things aren't working. Surely you should be able to see that Charbel Sharmoon has not been doing enough on that right side. Yeah. That Sam Sutton has been isolated and not been able to get
having him way
that
too
Nicholas
deep.
Pennington has not been offering anything of value off of the left wing. That Jaden Kaczarski's been shifted around way too much in position.
Yeah.
That Tags is not being given the right types of chances. and that ultimately you're not creating enough through the midfield. Surely you should be able to see those chances,
You can.
those problems, and say, okay, well, maybe we'll try this. Maybe we'll try and fix that.
The
with
point-
this. Nothing has
Yeah,
changed.
and just before I touch on Bradman's goal, this team can play football.
I don't think anyone's disagreeing.
But that's a problem. We're more than capable of playing football, and I think the fans have seen instances this season. I could even find clips and I can put them out of us playing football on the ground, and we look good and we can play well. But the fact that we don't show enough, for me, is why I question the direction in which we're going currently under Griff. And someone that could have been particularly good for us this season in Chris Donnell, that was his cross that led to Bradman's header, wasn't it?
Gorgeous cross. Gorgeous cross.
I must play my
What a player, man.
best.
This is why I so badly wanted him. And
Yeah.
you said no. You said no. I remember saying
at
at the
the
start of
time-
the season
but-
that I wanted him back off of Fulham.
But
and you said
that's
no.
because we had too many players at the time, no?
I said I would have taken him over. Who did I say I would have taken? I don't remember
Timmins?
who I would have said. I don't remember who I
I mean,
said.
obviously that's a hard one.
But I said that I would have taken him in. No, I think I said I would have shipped off Amos and brought in Donnell.
Really?
I would have shipped off Amos and brought in Donnell. Personally.
Well, I think
Because I wanted to free up the visa spot and I didn't think we
look.
needed a CD.
I also haven't seen enough of Chris, so that's why I was also a little bit hesitant at the time. But I think what we've seen since he's come back into the A-League, there's something that you can work with, and it's like, obviously they're probably more inclined to go with guys like Will Freeney and Gio Diabriou because they're the future of the football club. You know, they've come through our academy at different points, and I'm sure the club are going to want to put all their eggs in that basket. But I think if we're talking about you're going to bring in a player that can really push those guys to the very top and, you know, probably even overtake one of them, I think Chris Donnell is a good example of someone we should be looking at, because how many of our midfielders could pick out a pass like he did for Bailey Bradman? I don't think once this season we've seen one of our mids do it.
I don't think I've seen one of them do
No,
it.
but he's
the last time I can remember one of our mids doing it was Pennington when we had him playing in the 10
But
like a year ago.
here's a question: have we seen our midfielders even try to do that at all this season? Because I wonder if it's Griffiths just wanting them to keep it simple. Because I wonder if there's more to the likes of Will Freeney and Gio Diabriou with their game. I wonder if there's more that we can see, but because perhaps with the instructions that we're not seeing enough of their actual passing ability, which might lead fans to go, oh, well, they're quite limited. All they can do is run up and down.
I think
know what I mean?
that I think personally, and this is just my assumption, but I think it makes sense, is that the reason that we've never seen Will or Gio try those kinds of passes is because they're never in the position to make them, because they're so responsible for holding for shutting that gap in the midfield that they're not able to move out of position and be adventurous.
Yeah.
Like we've seen in recent years, being able to have midfielders that are able to drag out wide and put in balls and stuff like that, and ultimately move around the pitch. They're not able to do that because we have no defensive cover in the midfield. Like we've seen that through multiple points of the season when we say, why are we still doing this double pivot, switch to a midfield three, we're too open. We're too open as it is with both of them there. If you take one out to, try and put in a really good cross from a wide area, then God, we're vulnerable on the counter.
Yeah.
So ultimately, I think once again that falls down to another thing I don't like about Griff is that, like, every single underperforming player in this squad that we expected more from, I look at and I say, is it you or is it the guy you're playing under? Like, genuinely, I have to ask that question because Jaden Kucharski has shown he's got bags of talent for A-League level.
Yeah.
But Griffo's made so many stupid decisions with playing JK out of position this season that it just hasn't worked for him. Tags, we know, is a great striker, but he just hasn't been getting the right kind of chances.
Or let's put it this way.
Pennington is one of our best
there's
technical
that, but what
midfielders
about-
and is playing out on the fucking wing.
What was the game where Will was being a bit more of a deep line playmaker and doing those switches?
God knows.
But you remember that game, though,
God,
don't you?
I remember who you're talking about.
So why have we not seen that since?
Because
I
don't know,
It's got to be the instructions.
It has to be. That would be what you'd imagine.
It has to be, and it's like I'd rather see my midfielders try and create and like show what they can do.
But
on the
we
ball.
did say it that was Will's best game when he's actually looking to play from deep and he was getting up. He took like 2 or 3 good shots from length, and we're saying, I'd like to see Will doing that
Maybe
more
it's
often.
a little
And he
bit of
hasn't been able to do it
stubbornness.
since.
Hey,
I think it's a little bit of stubbornness.
on Griff's part.
Yeah.
I just think we've got to be far more adventurous with what we ask for from our players, because I think they're more than capable. And as we saw with Chris Donnell with a pass like that, and the fact that we don't see our midfielders even try those kinds of passes when we don't even know if they're capable. Yeah. So I could be saying totally the wrong thing about Diabriu not having a good passing range because we've not seen it enough because the environment hasn't been allowed for or created for him.
Yep.
So that's a frustrating part. And then I guess the rest of the game, there wasn't much that happened. There was the save from Redmayne to stop Diabriu's shot from outside the box. Then there was Matt Sutton. He pulled off a good save. Sabit Nyingor, he had that shot, left foot, and I think there was a little bit of a deflection, but it was still a sharp save either way.
Yeah.
I thought the Mariners finished strongly. I was not going to be shocked at all if my phone went 3-2 Central Coast, but
They hit the post really late on. I thought we'd lost it at that point.
Yeah. But I think, lucky for us that we got a draw, but as I mentioned earlier,
Means nothing.
it's 1 win in 11.
No.
It's one win in 11. I'd recount it. It is one win.
1 win in 11.
1 win in 11. That's fucking atrocious.
1.5 a season, essentially.
Yeah. So it's like there's no way to gloss over the fact that this second half of the season has been immensely disappointing, and for this group that we had high hopes for at varying points this season, it's just become that much of a slog where it's just like,
It
okay.
shows how much we over-relied on Lawrence.
yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like when Lawrence is your only player of quality, what does that say about the rest of the players? I know that's harsh, but it's like when you have a key player like that go, through adversity comes opportunity, and I don't think one player took the mantle and said, no, I'll take over from Tom, and we'll be okay. I don't think one player did that.
Yeah, but like at the same time, it's like, who it's Tom Lawrence and then it's Tavir and Despotovsky. Like
Yeah.
it's two different
Yeah.
tiers of player.
Yeah.
And at the same time, when you go to the members lounge and you hear, members of staff talking about, oh, well, I can't wait for Tom Lawrence to be back next season. Well, it's like, well, how about this season? Like, I understand he's had issues with plantar fasciitis and he's out for the rest of the season, pretty much.
He's done.
Why are we chomping at the bit to
And
just
the
tie
thing
him
that
down on a
annoys- sorry,
deal?
the
Like,
thing
are
that
we
annoys me
that
about
unconfident that we can get anyone else?
Yeah.
The thing that annoys me about that is I feel like the club hid that from us. I think they knew all along that he was out for the rest of the season.
Well, there was no transparency or clarity. Like, it was just like, I know there was the week by week thing, and I get it because it's that kind of injury, but it's just, the fact that he was in a moon boot, there was no updates, and it was like,
Yeah,
You
it
know.
was gone for the season.
yeah.
They know that there's an injury crisis, but they don't want to address it.
Well, I think it should be. It's beyond a piss take at this point, and I think we need to be having a look at it, and we need to be asking some tough questions. And I think it's pretty clear what the answers to those questions should be. It's just whether we're ready to do what's necessary. Just again, any final thoughts before I touch on player ratings?
Not particularly.
I'm so done.
I've been done, man. I've been done, and I will continue to stay done by this season and
Fair.
this club and this team.
Yeah,
Everyone
Before
has
the player
let me down.
ratings, I do also want to bring up, this is not game related. Or is it? Should I bring it up after that?
No, do it now.
Oh, I was going to say it's disappointing to see Perth not involved in one of the pre-season Italian games with AC
Yeah,
Milan and
yeah.
Juve coming.
Well, I reckon. Well, depending if Saffioti probably would have been involved in.
Rita.
Yeah, Rita.
I'm assuming this would have been
She would've-
compensation for the fact
probably.
we didn't get Milan versus Como.
Well, and after how we performed against Milan, would the WA government
Oh, yeah.
really want us to be out there? Probably not. It'd be a fucking cricket score. Player ratings. For the first time this season, I think. Congrats to Adam Taggart, man of the match. 37% of the vote. Here we go. Now, the bloke to my left decided to be a smartass and have some fairly funky ratings.
5.26.
Fucking hell.
3.14.
Yeah, anyway.
Did you actually do it? I wasn't expecting you to.
Yeah, I
thought
did
you
it.
were just going to round down.
No. I did it because why not? I'm bored at this point. I don't give a fuck. Matt
Can we
Sutton.
read out some of Josh's ratings, by the way?
Yeah, I'll touch on them. So, Matt Sutton, you guys gave him a 4.8. We gave him a 6.4. Josh gave Sutton a 6.58.
What are you lot at home doing with a 4.8 for Matt Sutton?
Christos and his bots.
4.8, man. That's
Stiff.
It's been a while since I've listened to one of the viewers' takes on a rating and actually felt physical disgust from it. That's crazy. 4.8. Are you guys serious?
I think it'll get worse.
Oh, I'm expecting it to.
Shabel Shamoon, you guys gave him a 4.1. We gave him a 4.6.
Okay.
Any issues?
No.
Was not expecting that, eh?
Brian Kaltak.
Yep.
You guys gave him a 5.7. We gave him a 6.4. Josh,
7.
Josh, you gave him a 6.67. So I just thought I'd touch on that. Thanks. Scott Wooden. This was a bit interesting. You guys gave him a 4.6. We gave him a 5.1.
He's just been dropping off a little as of recent.
He has.
He's just not been imposing himself.
Yeah. Well,
which is the exact reason why I suggested maybe give Zach a go, but
Nah, he's a senior centre back.
I know he's a senior centre back, but he's also a senior centre back that's 34 and has a visa spot.
Come on, guys.
Josh, I know we're mates, but it's like I know he's a lad, and we enjoy talking to him. But it's
we love Scott Wooden, by the way.
We love him.
He's an absolute king.
It's just with the shitty thing about this league where you only have 5 visa spots.
Yeah,
and we kind of
if
have
the visa
areas.
spots weren't a thing, I would not even be thinking about offloading him next season.
He's got another year or two left in him.
Well,
I think he's got another year, but like
I think so. I think so as well. But it's like when we've got areas in the pitch that I think we really need to consider with a visa spot, and you've got Jab, you've got Zach and Riley. But the fact is that you've got these young guys that are in your team. When are they going to get an opportunity?
Yeah. You got Jab, Zach, Riley at the club. Kalen out on loan.
Yankolovsky, is he still in the...
Yankolovsky's in the youth team. Kayla Majeka Dunmi out on loan with Dandenong, who was in the under-23s for the Socceroos not too long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think you're undervaluing
I understand
his presence.
No. I understand that. But at the same time...
It's a tough call that
might
one
of the
to be
worst
made.
defensive teams in the leagues in the league in the last 3 to 4 months. He's 34. He's taking up a visa spot, and we've got 3 or 4 really promising centre backs that could really use the game time. You know what I mean?
If you're not going to throw them in the deep end, when are you? In terms of our young guys, giving them consistent minutes.
I don't think he's your captain. You can't just drop. We did drop tags.
We did drop tags, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like that's a bit hard because you can't. Yes,
it is hard.
Defensively, we haven't been great as of recently, but you can't blame it like on Wood.
I'm not blaming it on Wood.
It's just by power of deduction because of, like we were saying, with the visa spot situation, and because of his age, and because we've got lots of defenders that are coming through that are young and promising. It's like, well, again, you can't have guys that are sitting around on a wage when you've got a salary cap.
I blame this defense more on Griff than anything. I'm not blaming it on Woods.
I can blame
like
you can bring options. Okay, if he's slowing down and like he's getting injured, you can blame on age, right?
But he is slowing down.
Yeah, but when you play his sort of profile as a defender, he doesn't really rely on pace or speed.
But if we play with a high line,
but still,
like let's say we get a new coach and a new coach wants to play with a high line, what are we going to do?
Wait till we get the new coach then.
What if Griff wants to play with a high line?
We've seen no evidence of that, to be fair.
But if no evidence, then bring in Jab. But what I'm saying is, based on the current scenario, I don't think that's fair. I think that's too hard.
I'm willing to take a wooden spoon if it means for the next 3 games you get some experience in guys like Jab and Liz Zalewski with the idea of having them be long-term players for the club.
if you have a ruthless organisation that's all about winning and doing what's best for the club, both in the short and long term, everything's on the table. In terms of players.
Yeah, that's
because
fine.
it's like you can't have a season like we've had and then go you're safe by default simply because you have a contract.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Brian Kaltak, I thought he was fairly solid, and I've been really happy to see his renaissance this season. Given how shaky
really
and
start.
crap he was at the start, he is, for me, a strong chance to win the MGP.
He should win the MGP.
He's been.
I will be very surprised if it's anyone but him.
He got a 5.7. You guys gave him a 5.7, and we gave him a 6.4. But he was one of our highest rated players either way. But yeah, he's been solid. I've enjoyed watching him play.
Definitely.
Who else? So yeah, we went with Scott. Yeah, 4.6, 5.1, and then Sam Sutton. Yeah, you guys gave him a 3.6. We gave him a 4.9.
Lads, come on. 3.6.
That's a bit, just a little bit too harsh.
3.6.
That's just a little bit harsh.
Where are you getting 3.6 from?
Who voted?
No, we can't.
We can't see it. No,
voting.
it's anonymous. Yeah.
Where are they getting 3.6
Oh, you're not
from?
going to like the next one then.
That's like stinker performance.
You ready? Will Freeney.
What are they giving him?
Yeah. So the fans gave him a 4.3. We gave him a 5.6. Our fucking viewers
What are they doing, bro? What are these viewers doing?
What are our viewers doing?
What did he do wrong until he got injured, bro?
He was fine.
He was good until he got
Jesus.
injured. What are they doing?
These fucking viewers. I'm still gonna go. We need to get that on like a soundboard where it's like you saying, "What are we doing? We have the dumbest viewers."
We have the dumbest
We
viewers,
do.
Why are they?
Fuck's sake.
Nah, someone's definitely come in and just reviewed Bomb like.
Probably.
It's probably Dan Gregory.
It's probably
A
yeah.
lot of one
probably.
stars.
Gio Diabriu, you guys gave him a 5.8. We gave him a 6.1.
See, I don't get that. How is Gio getting a 5.8 from the viewers?
I get
but
he had a
Will's
good
getting
game, but you can't
4.6?
say he's 2 points
a
ahead
whole
of him.
rating higher than fucking Will Freeney. Like, come on, man.
I mean, hey guys, you invented these player ratings. It was your idea. I said they're harmful and not fair, but you guys persisted with them. So
fair. So we're up to Nicholas Pennington. You guys gave him a 5.2. We gave him a 5.1.
That's fair.
Seb Despotovsky, congrats on the goal. And again, when he's played in his natural position, geez, wow, shock horror. He actually looks half decent. So yeah, look, I think the viewers were a little bit harsh. They gave him a 5.2. We gave him a 5.9. But it's just good to see Seb in the box and linking up and getting shots away and scoring goals. I mean, if he can continue to add that to his game, I reckon he'll have more eyes on him.
I just think he was a bit jumpy in front of goal. Like, he was very sort of nervous.
Not quite as clinical as he can be.
Not even clinical, but more just sort of like, I guess, just scared. Not scared even. Like, treating the ball like a hot potato
Like
in
a
front
bomb.
of goal. Like, the moment it gets to him, he's like, fuck.
Yeah, I get that. But otherwise, I think he'd be very happy with the goal because it was great positioning and a top
Beautiful header. Beautiful header.
Taggart, I'm more than happy to be talking about him in a positive light given how shit this season has been. You guys gave him a 6.4. We gave him a 7.7.
6.4.
I think I just think
I don't think any of the ratings are high.
across the board, I think a lot of ratings were just pretty bad. JK, you guys gave him a 5.5. We gave him a 6.1. Luka Tavia, you guys gave him a 5.1. We gave him a 6.1. Anthony Dudalitsa, you guys gave him a 4.6. We gave him a 5.2. Steph Kolakovsky, I was surprised to see him dropped to the bench.
Yeah, I was as well. You would have thought that against an open-ended Mariners side, this really would have been the game that you start 4 actual forwards in your team rather than, a left
Hano.
a CDM
waiting
playing on
for
the
him
left
to come
wing.
on like the 70th minute or like a bit earlier, like 60th.
It's just
I just
weird
really would have
shit.
thought that this would be the game that Griffith says, you know what, maybe I actually should play attackers in the attack.
But no.
When did he come on the 70?
Late.
Super late.
Super
yeah.
late. 87.
Something
Super
like
late.
that.
If he had 30, 40 minutes, he would have made a big impact.
Yeah.
Bizarre. Zach Lezalewski, you guys gave him a 4.2. We gave him a 4.9.
What?
Andriano Lebib, you guys gave him a 4.5. We gave him a 4.8. And then Adam Griffiths, you guys gave him a 3.7. We gave him a 2.5. There's not really much else to add, is there?
There's really not. Like,
aside from our viewers being fucking
yeah.
stupid, but aside from that, that's just a given.
I like how we just call our viewers stupid, man. We love all of our viewers, by the way. It's just like,
You
your
love
match
Pockle?
ratings suck, guys. Huh?
You love Pockle?
Like, we love all of our viewers, guys. Like,
As well, these ratings are a way for the fans to protest because even if we won, I still think the ratings.
oh,
would be
yeah.
bad.
The last thing I want to
yeah.
become is another podcast that's just constantly kissing the ass of this fucking dog shit
Careful.
association.
Yeah.
But no, I'm glad that we do give a voice to the voiceless, unlike some people. And no, like, I'm glad we do give the fans an opportunity to express their opinions in multiple forms.
You know what? I really could not give a fuck about this game that we have coming up on Sunday against
I
MacArthur.
actually am thinking about not going, but I am going to go. But
I'm tempted. Well, I've got a game. My Sunday league season's back, and
What time is it?
MacArthur game?
Yeah.
5 p.m. on a Sunday.
I mean, like,
Who's gonna want to go? Like, I'm sorry. I hate to be like self-depreciating of the club, but it's like, who's actually gonna want to go? Why would you want to go?
so I can record a match day vlog.
Okay, aside from
I'm sure I actually can't go to that one because like.
Oh, shit, I'm going to be going by myself. My God. I'm going to get mobbed.
But yeah, not gonna lie, like even if I could have come, I probably wouldn't have gone.
do not come. No, but it was
I'm going to come.
like MacArthur. I mean, they beat Newcastle. They're probably going to beat us.
I think that's fair to say. Yeah.
There's not really much else to add, is
Yeah.
there?
I
I
mean,
can't see their goalkeeper having another stinker.
or Alex Robinson.
Yeah. Well, the young lad that was there when we drew 2-2 against him when we really shouldn't have.
Alex Robinson.
Was that him?
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Well,
I don't think it's going to
There's-
matter. I don't know.
there's
if we're
just
gonna
there's
reach their
just
box, to be
no
honest.
joy. There's just no fucking anything. It's just like I'm bored, and that's why.
Boring.
That's why I had like the
Boring.
boring. I had that exact reaction. I was like, oh, okay, this is getting a bit boring now. It's like, what's the point?
Because we know mathematically we can't make finals.
Well, technically, mathematically, we can. We're only 8 points off with 3 games to go. 9 points available, boys. But no, like in all seriousness,
done.
what is the point? Like, there's three games to go. We're treading water until the season is done. This is our second last home game.
Yeah,
It's this one, and then Sydney away, and then
Brisbane at home.
Brisbane at home, 10 this season.
And I won't be at that Brisbane game.
Wow. I mean, look,
Off to the footy instead.
Look, I will probably be at the MacArthur game, and I'll probably be at the Brisbane
So
game
I
because
probably won't see you guys at another home game.
oh well, that's very sad. Anyways,
You'll have plenty of options to pick your seat, mate. There'll be lots of spare seats all over the joint.
That's right.
James, I've had options to pick my seats all year.
I know, and you'll have still
year.
those same choices when you go to that game as
Yep.
well. I mean, again, I think the club have got to reflect on what this season has been, and I think they've got to have some tough conversations, and I think that needs to be driven by Ross Pelligra.
Don't worry, guys. We're going to bring back Chicken Treat as a sponsor, and we're going to
Yeah.
bring back
I don't want to
Tony Sage as one of
hear
the
it. I just
muffins.
want to see
We're going to bring back Chicken Treat as a sponsor, and we're going to bring in Tony Sage as one of the Muzz dancers in the pregame.
Great.
And honestly, can we just get rid of Macron? I'm sorry, the kits are ass, bro.
Well, we might have a good kit next season.
Oh, yippee! A great kit for when we finish 12th again. Come on, yes, come on.
Why are you saying that? Where's the hint? I don't understand.
I can't reveal much, otherwise I'll get in trouble. But apparently it's a pretty good kit.
Oh,
That's about as much as I can give.
huzzah!
Huzzah!
Just to finish 12th.
Yeah, huzzah!
Huzzah! Yeah.
So the last ever Perth Glory football kit's going to be a banger.
Yeah, well, I just think if we've got any of the players that are watching or any of their families or whatever, there's as we said, there's only 3 games left and 2 of them are home games. I don't know what sort of attendance we're going to get, but try and finish the season just giving us a reason to be optimistic.
Please don't get us the fucking spoon.
Don't
again.
get us the spoon, and try and play these next few games with a little bit of freedom. I don't give a fuck. There's no finals. That's done. That's over. Try and play some football and show us that you guys are good players and that we didn't just waste our time this season. Because that's just what it feels like this season. It's like, have we wasted our time?
Yeah.
Are we still stuck in that vicious cycle where it's like, maybe we'll get better? Oh, no, we're not. And me being a sicko of the club at varying points these past few weeks, I've just gone, I'm not interested anymore. I don't give a fuck. I don't care.
Here's an
I'm done.
interesting question that
Yes.
I wanna sort of
Pose to
throw
the
out
panel.
onto the table there.
Sure.
The fans in the live chat or in the comments or wherever are more than welcome to get involved in the discussion. Would you guys, if you were on the board of the APL or whatever, would you change the A-League season scheduling
Yes.
to be played in the winter?
Yes.
James?
No.
Ooh.
Really?
Your argument first. Let's hear it.
Align with Europe. That's my big reason. You're seeing it all over the world now, where you've got, particularly in Asia, where there were the main differences of leagues that weren't playing in line with Europe. And I think that's something that we have to do, because ultimately where we stand as a country and as a league, we are a developing country. We develop our players to sell on, to be bought by clubs in predominantly Europe. And yes, the United States, they do take some of our players, not so much Asia, but Europe's the market that we're trying to emulate and get to. Obviously, there's the weather issues and the sports that you're going to be competing with. But I think we should be looking for other avenues of football. Maybe it's the championship that gets played in that winter period or something like that. If we can get to that point.
I'd look at playing more games, because I'd make it. We start the league earlier, so it starts when the Premier League in Europe starts
So August,
in
essentially.
August. So basically peak winter, and then drags on. But I'd essentially, so we play 36 games, so we can play each team 3 times. so an even amount, not, you're going to play Auckland 3 times and you're going to play Western Sydney twice, because that's how it is. It's like uneven. And then as well, that would make it easier for our players to adapt to when they move over to Europe, because a lot of them struggle with playing the amount of games and like the physicality of it.
I think it's a good conversation to have, though, because, it's been one that I think elements of football in Australia have wrestled with for some time about, do we go winter or do we look to still align with Europe?
No, I completely agree. But I will say as well, I like the point that you're making about extending the league calendar, because the biggest criticism that I've had of the Australian footballing calendar is that the reason that so many young players go over to Europe and get injured is because they don't play enough football over here. So
but that's also a junior and development problem
I understand
as well.
that, but it doesn't help when in senior football. At max, they're playing 30 games a season, and then when they go over to Europe, at some championship clubs, if they stay in all comps till late stages, I think they're playing upwards of 60
we need to have a stronger product, and then the fans will come. Because I think
I agree with that.
This would be a point across the panel that I'd be stunned if anyone disagreed with. The quality of the A-League has dropped off exponentially over the last few years.
I'm a bit mixed on what I would do, because I feel like starting. You would either have to do one of the two, all right? I don't like us starting the season in the spring, all right?
Sure.
I would start it around when the Premier League starts. I'd probably start it around start of August, a couple weeks before the Premier League starts. But the issue with that is I also am worried for the casual fans' sake that by the time the Premier League does come around, that they just lose interest.
I think if you start a couple weeks after, let's say in September.
Maybe, but then
September,
at the same time, they've already
got
sunk their fangs.
But you're at least not having that delay where you're waiting until late October.
No, that's fair. I think
it forward.
I think another thing as well is that I really don't like the games being played through the summer. I think it's a stupid thing that we do, especially in Australia. The summers are way too harsh.
I think we have way too big of a preseason. It's way too long for players not to be playing games.
Look, the quality of football drops off way too much in the summer. Like, let's be real here. The quality of football when we play it through the summer months, it's shit. It's slow, it's methodical, it's just tiring to sit through.
No, it's not a great product, no.
It's not good for the fans, it's not good for the players physically, and I'd say mentally probably.
But that's just on in terms of scheduling though.
When it's in the colder months is actually faster.
Yeah, exactly.
It is.
So it's so much easier in the cold to play.
Because the players aren't sweating buckets after 3 minutes.
I just think logistically there'd also be quite a few challenges that be posed by the AFL and NRL, particularly when it comes to stadium hire.
I understand.
I think it'd be a big problem if you're talking about Melbourne, New South Wales, Queensland, big rugby, and AFL states to be competing with little old soccer.
Look, I understand that as well.
Be a bit of a problem.
I understand that as well. But my big issue is not. I think the biggest issue with sporting fans is not the fact that we don't have people that have eyes on the product. People have eyes on the product is that we're not enticing. Look, soccer is the most participated sport in the country.
It is.
All right. One of the lowest funding per person, but the most participated sport in the country at all levels. We don't do enough to actually get junior people or senior people or whatever. We don't get enough people. We don't do enough to get participants of the sport interested in the professional code in our country. Whereas every young kid that plays Auskick, watches the AFL. But I guarantee you, I don't even think maybe 20% of the participants of soccer in this country watch the A-League on a regular basis.
This because I had a really good conversation with someone in WA football last week about what Glory can do to be better, let's say, and our involvement with schools, I think, is something we've got to be really improving, and local community clubs.
Do well.
Schools. Yeah. I don't think we have a big enough presence.
I understand, but in
terms of let's say going out with free tickets, because we're going to have to be. I know the free tickets is shit, but we've got to find ways to get people in through the door and get the young kids in through the door, so that they'd want to bring mum and dad along, and then that way you just incentivize things that way, so that they're aware of Perth Glory.
Yeah.
But then also our product, because again I'm talking back to Glory, we've got to have a product that people are going to want to come back and see every week.
Yeah.
And I think that's been something that we've not really done a good enough job at looking at how to do and how to get things in that right state of mind. But
one little change I would make to the way the club currently does things, because we still do the thing where it's like if you play, if you sign up for Football West, you get, what is it, like a game free or 2 games free or whatever.
Yeah, a couple of free tickets for that game.
It used to be the first 3 home games of the season you would get free. I would change it to where you get 3 free home games, but you can pick where you want to use them throughout the season.
Or you have like a buy one, bring a mate.
Free home game.
That's what we used to do back in the Popper and Kenny Lowe era. If you had a
Okay, what about the members who pay?
Huh?
What about the members?
That's just it's
Mate,
just
like
it's unfortunately you've got to bring in those casuals through the door. So
exactly, but like. Look,
there's a better argument about members getting more value.
Let's just say this though, right? If let's say in your scenario, if we do extend the league calendar to 33, 36, whatever games, we've got all of a sudden we've got like 16 to 18 home games. 3 games is nothing.
Yeah, that's different.
The fact that we're giving it to them throughout the season means that they're actively going to be looking at these tickets and saying, oh, well, maybe we go down here. And you don't give it to just junior players. You give it to every single participant. Because I guarantee you there is more than enough people in WA that would see free Glory tickets and say, why not? Let's just make a night out of it. Saturday night, let's go to the Glory. Oh, you know what? Friday night, we got some time. Let's go to the Glory. Oh, Sunday afternoon. Oh, we got some time with the kids. Let's go to the Glory. Free public transport on the Sunday. Let's go to the Glory. I guarantee you there's enough people to do that. But when you're time locking it to say like, oh, you have to come to these 3 specific games, otherwise you're not going to get free tickets. Well, people are going to be like, well, I can't make that game, so.
But then they also might be lazy and forget about those free tickets to begin with.
So
on the flip side,
okay, but. Cool, you can do stuff with Football West.
I know that. I'm just saying there's always a double-edged sword to it. But I just think for this game that's coming up against Macarthur, and I also think
we're talking about.
And I also think for the Brisbane Roar game as well, we're going to be lucky if we even get a half decent attendance because I know the players.
I'm not buying that 6,000 that they were saying at the last game. By the way,
I reckon 5.5.
That shit was 3,500 at the last game. I refuse to believe it was 6.
I doubt that it was 6, but anyway, the point is that. Yeah, I think the general public have they've turned off. They're not interested, and as I was saying a lot earlier, I'll be very intrigued to see what we say in the season launch, and I'll be also very intrigued to see what happens in terms of potential changes.
They need to do a lot to rebuild faith with the community.
And
I know that Ross initially wanted to do that with scrapping the Glory Junior NPL.
Yeah.
Now that Football West have come in with the NTC program and essentially fucked that all up, I think there's a lot of work to do with getting back into the community and drumming up some of that interest. Run the programs in the off season. Get involved not only in schools but in clubs. You need to get involved in clubs. The presence in clubs and local clubs in all suburbs and in all parts of the state needs to be there because realistically, going to schools is great. You're going to get all these little kids there to be like, oh my God, it's a soccer player. Great. If they don't care about soccer, they're not going to ask their parents to go to a soccer game just because some football player came to their school. All right, like the Eagles used to come to my school with the Eagles mascot and parade around doing all this shit. It didn't make me want to go to
something's
an AFL
better than
game,
nothing
right?
though.
I understand, but if you go to a soccer club and engage with people there, you at least know that those people
of course, I agree with
in your
that.
Code and are interested in potentially buying what you have to sell to them.
I just think we need to be more ambitious, more proactive, and more on the front foot, and really, almost in ways, kind of oversell to the general public that we're keen to make a real stamp on things. And again, as I said, that has to be driven by Ross Pelligra himself because I'm going to keep calling him out for as long as he stays silent and we don't hear from him. Now's not the time to be silent. Now you got to be seen. You got to talk to us because we're basically back to where we started. I think as a final point,
I think it is time for us to get rid of this, one glory mentality and bring back.
Glory is one?
No. West versus rest.
I agree.
I want that mentality to be the mentality that we look to revive under. I want that to be the battle cry, the rallying call that we reach out to our disgruntled fans and say, look, we've tried all this corporate shit. We've fucked up for a long, long time. We're done with that now. We're ready to stamp it down. You give us a chance now, and I promise you that we are going to make you proud. I promise you that you are going to get the best of the Perth glory.
Just be careful saying that because
I promise you that we are going to give it a red hot crack, and we're going to do it right this time. And look, I know we had those promises before, but they had no intention of backing up those promises. Let's be completely honest. They had no intention of backing it up. If you get the right people in that know what they're doing, we can make a run for it, I promise.
Any final thoughts?
Far out.
Yes, we're so back. Yeah.
The clip farming is back.
I just think. I just got a documentary. I just think we need to do a lot better on and off the pitch. And yeah, just when I hear so many situations of, oh, you know, the Glory are shit, or we don't like the Glory from other, you know, people at other clubs, then you go, why are they so disliked, and why is that sort of relationship broken? You know, what have they done? We need to repair those relationships. And I think obviously we've got a lot to work on, but we've got to really fix our relationship with the community.
Yep.
I think for all the good Sagey did for us, one of the really bad things he did was that he caused irreparable damage to our sort of to our image among the football community. But I do think that you can sort of gain back some of that trust with action.
Guess we'll see.
It's just about actually wanting to back up the words.
I might as well wrap it up.
Wrap it up there.
Real quick, match predictions for McCarthy.
Oh yes, match predictions. Oh yippee.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, I thought you were saying your predictions.
Yep, score predictions. Go.
2-1 MacArthur.
2-0 MacArthur.
2-0 MacArthur.
Copycat. All right.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us for episode
Apologies for the technical
59
fuck-ups
of the Glory Days podcast. We lost out on a bit of time because we spent about 20 minutes trying to fix the audio that cut out. I don't even know if it worked in the end. You guys will have to, well, I say you guys will have to tell us. We'll notice when we...
I'll know it, and
we'll
I'll be breaking my computer
from this. But
when I say we'll try and fix it, James will try and fix it.
We'll do our best to try and get something watchable out by whenever this is posted. But thank you very much for your patience over the
break,
the international break, and also over the Easter long weekend. I hope you understand that we couldn't record anything over that time period because we were all very busy.
Yeah.
But now we are back. We are ready to see the season out. 3 more games until we get it done, and hopefully some off-season specials as well. You guys have plenty to look forward to there. But until, well, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, we'll see.
We have nothing planned.
Absolutely not. Correct. But I'm sure we'll have something planned by then. Until then, though, thank you very much. Please make sure to like and subscribe as always. And until the next episode, it is bye for now.
See you guys.